Hi, I am Rutvik Babati. I am here to discuss to you about the performance testing tool which is called GATLING. Now GATLING is one of the fastest growing performance testing tool in the industry. Do you know why? Because GATLING has a super easy user interface that helps almost all the developers who even doesn't know the testing or the ABCDs of testing to perform a performance testing on websites. So, in this lecture, I am going to tell you about Gatling, the features of Gatling, the tool structure, how to run Gatling tool, and the reports it gives us. So, all the reports that we generate will be a graphical representation report. So, the Gatling performance testing it can be done on a web, mobile, and API. A Gatling is a powerful open source load testing solution. Gatling is designed for continuous load testing and integrates with your development pipeline. So Gatling can be developed in Java, in HTML, in other languages, and it can be used directly onto the application to test. Gatling includes a web recorder reports, colorful reports. Gatling is developed in Scala and it is built upon HTTP client and akka for actions, requests, pauses, assertions, etc., modeling and orchestration. Gatling code like scripting enables you to easily maintain your testing scenarios and easily automate them in your continuous delivery pipeline. The, the key specific aspect of Gatling is it has its own domain specific language which will help you to make your scenarios easy to read for everyone. Gatling is a powerful tool. With only a few machines, you can simulate hundreds of thousands of requests per second on your web applications and get high precision metrics. That's true. A few features of the Gatling tool I'll be describing you in the down below. Manage your tests. All the simulations, all your history of your runs, all your reports can be easily managed in the Gatling tool in a folder. Get more data. We can go in deeper into the data and get live matrices, new matrices, and it has 99.9 percentage or what do you call 9 accurate results. So other feature of Gatling is it is a plug and play. You can host it on a website or host it on a server and you can use it on the premise like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Platform and other cloud like the IBM Cloud. Now, the Gatling can be very helpful in a way where web client online and offline permission can be granted from a remote area. We can manage the Gatling in a very useful and in a very effective way. It has dedicated Jenkins plugins, which a very few software testing tools have right now in this industry. So, let me explain the infrastructure. The tool structure for Gatling contains a bin folder, a config folder, and a library folder. The bin folder is where you can run the Gatling from the command prompt. The configuration folder has different files having Gatling, Akka, and logback. Library contains binaries that are used by Gatling that are very important to run the Gatling. User files. Simulations contain your simulation Scala files. The simulation that you run is contained in the simulation folder. Data contains feeder files. Bodies contains templates for request bodies. Result contains simulation.log and reports generated in a subdirector. So these are the graphical representations that I was telling you about from the results of the Gatling tool. So now let's run Gatling. So I have created a folder called Gatling here. As I said earlier, it's a bin where from where you can start the Gatling tool. So you go to recorder.bat and double click it. You have the Windows command prompt opened. In a couple of seconds, you'll get the Gatling tool ready and up and running. So, in the Gatling, it allows you two options. It's HTTP proxy and HAR converter. So now I will talk to you about only HTTP proxy. On the later on sessions, I will tell you about HAR converter. So in the HTTP proxy, the network listening port and the HTTPS mode can be given by you. So in the network listening port, I have given localhost and 8000 as my port. It has various options. Outgoing proxy, you can set up the password, HTTPS, passwords, and usernames and all. So, and also it has pre-built functions like following the redirects, removing cache headers, info HTML resources, automatic refers, save and check response bodies, etc. etc. It has many various encoding options for you, but I'm gonna keep it to Unicode UTF-8, which is a default encoding option. Now, so here I'm going to give a class name called test01. Okay. So the simulation folder here, the simulation will be stored. You can change it as per your reference, but I'm keeping this in a default way so that it helps me. Now, later after that, after all these preferences have been checked and as per your reference, just save the references, click the reference button, and start. I'm using the Mozilla Firefox. Here you have a tag button where you can separate the code with comments. It is auto generated. All the simulation code will be generated in Scala. Scala is a very simple programming language for running simulations. Now I'm going to Mozilla Firefox. Here, go to your options, advanced settings, and I have already kept as HTTP proxy localhost and port as 8000 for my listening. Yep, this is done. Click OK. Now, to show you side by side, so here you see all the requests are being recorded over here. Now, I want to go to the trending tab. So if you keep it just like that, it will go to trending, but I don't want it like that. I'll give a tag called trending, which separates the home section from the trending. Now I click on trending. As you see, all the requests are being recorded or simulated over here. These are used for the simulation purpose. Okay, that's it. So now what I do is I will stop and save this simulation right now. Stop and save simulation. Right? Done. Now you can see the simulation, user files, simulations, and do you remember that I have given test01 as the file name? So here it is, test01. Now click on that. I'm editing opening with an IDE. Now I'm using a notepad plus plus. So here you can set up number of users, concurrent users. So I'm going to give concurrent users as 10 members who is accessing that site. Okay, now I'm saving it. Here you can see the tag that I have used. Let me just show you to you. Here there's a tag, right? Trending. So now given a I have found the Scala scope, Scala coding. So Now what I do is close this command prompt. Okay, it's compiling. It takes a couple of seconds to compile. Yep. So now you can see that we have two folders. Test00 I have already created before, and test01 is a simulation that we have just created right now. So I'm going to click the number 1. Okay. Now you can have a description. Now I'll just give it as testing YouTube. Now I run the simulation. It takes a couple of seconds to test the simulation. So you can see now there are 10 users who is trying to access YouTube from a single server concurrently. So with couple of missions, high power missions, you can create hundreds of thousands of test simulations, and hundreds of thousands of users who is trying to access that website or your web application, and you can get the results in a 99.9% accurate results. Okay, now the reports are generated. We'll just see over here what all the information that we have. So we have the maximum response time of the website of the request, minimum response time of the request. It has already done 150 request counts right now. So in the standard deviation, we have 572. 50th percentile, what is it the response time at the 50th time? 900th time, what is the response time? All these will be calculated automatically. Now, let's go to the simulation results. Yes, here we go to Gatling tool again. Now we go to results. Now we have already created in test01. So let's just, it gives a very beautiful graphical representation of the results that you got. So I have 79 requests that are passed and 70 requests that are failed for me. So here it gives a detailed description of what are the requests that have failed and what are the requests that have been passed. You can see the minimum response time, maximum response time, mean, standard deviation, response time, executions here. Active users along the simulation. So it has 10 active users along the simulation throughout the time. Response time distribution, response time percentile over time. It is very graphical, user friendly representation, easily very understandable to anyone. Request per second, 2 requests, number of responses per second. So this is in a global format. If you want it in a detail, request per request, you can also give it to the request, and you can see over here 9 requests have been given by request 0 and 1 request here. So 10 requests have been successful from here. You can also have the statistics over here, execution and response time, yeah, as well. So this is the detailed report. This is the detailed report. I hope I have given ample amount about what Gatling is and how it works. Thank you.